Hey guys, Jessica Beck here with IELTS Energy TV. In the last video, we talked about a lot of vocabulary for you to use when talking about books. Guys, and also you can use a lot of that in writing task 2 as well. These high scoring, interesting upper level words you can use in task 2. And there are questions about literature and reading habits and education in which these words would be applicable. So remember that. Okay. As promised, today I'm going to give you my own sample part 2 answer describing a favorite book. Remember guys, if you're not already doing it, start reading a book. If you're not sure what to read, post what kind of stories you like in the YouTube comments or on our blog, IELTS.allearsenglish.com, and I'll make a video with book recommendations. I would love to do that. Okay, so let's get to it. Now, how should you organize this answer? Guys, anytime you're asked to describe a story, a book, a movie, a TV show, a story from your own life, this makes it easy to organize and to do well in the coherence part of fluency and coherence. Coherence is linking words, guys, so we need to use natural, interesting, varied ways to indicate time shifts, and that is natural in a story. So if you don't already, start a list of interesting time phrases, because these linking words, this is how you do well for coherence in speaking part 2. Okay, so what should you talk about? Well, first of all, directly answer the question, title, author, okay? And then dive into the story, guys. Hopefully you can use the whole rest of the 2 minutes to describe the story. Talk about where it's set, talk about the characters, and then describe point by point through time chronologically what happens. If you still have time, if your 2 minutes is not finished, then you could talk about your opinion about the book. You can also do this at the beginning of your answer. Okay, so let me get my timer set here. So, all right, my part 2 card today says, describe your favorite book. Go. Wow, I am so lucky that I got this part 2 card because I am a huge reader. I have been since I was a kid. My mom always read to us, and she engendered a very positive view of books and a lifelong habit of reading in all of her kids. My 2 brothers and I, we are all of us reading at least a book at a time. I'm usually reading 3 books at a time, to be honest. But anyway, back to the topic of the card. The topic at hand is asking me to describe my favorite book. Well, this was a real no-brainer for me. My favorite book is The Gunslinger. It's the first book in a series by Stephen King called the Dark Tower series. It spans 6 novels, and the last 3 or 4 of them are tomes. These are huge paperweight, like huge books, thousands of pages worth of information. And actually, just as a side note, when Stephen King got in, he was in a car accident. He was hit by a van, and the Dark Tower series wasn't finished yet. I actually wrote him a letter wishing him a speedy recovery and asking him to please, if he could, finish the series. Because I'm such a Stephen King fangirl. Okay, so the story centers on a gunslinger, as the title indicates, a gunslinger named Roland. Now, where he is in an alternate dimension to ours. So the premise of the story is that there is a dark tower that holds many different worlds together. The dark tower is the center, and the dark tower is under threat by an evil sorcerer called the Man in Black. And it is up to Roland to conquer Walter, the Man in Black, and save the Dark Tower, thus saving his world and ours. His world is a dystopian future, right? It's past this royal line of which he was a member, and he is wandering the desert lost, searching for this Man in Black. That was already 2 minutes. Past 2 minutes and I barely got into the story. Guys, if you can't tell, this is an amazing book. And honestly, guys, The Gunslinger is not long. It's not a long book. And if you could get into this series, then you could go see the movie that just came out, even though it had horrible reviews. I went to go see it and I loved it. It had Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey, and it's amazing. Anyway. So guys, it's very important that you practice this task. Read a book specifically for this task. Make it a whole project for yourself, and then practice describing it 2 or 3 times and really feel calm and confident as you dive into details of your story. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you found this helpful. Please watch this answer a couple times. Take notes on how I go to the side. I like to say as a side note, and then I talk about another train of thought. But I always try to come back to the topic. And that wandering, you guys, is not bad. It's fluency. It shows the ability to communicate what you're thinking. It's not disorganized. It's real. It's natural. Okay, so as long as you can move through this, introduce the side note, come back to your main answer with linking words, with transition phrases, that is a very high scoring fluency and coherent answer. Okay, so take notes on my transition phrases, guys, and try to use them yourself. All right, that's it for me today, guys. Remember, you can always become one of our students, and you can meet with me on Skype, and we can have one-on-one lessons live, not in person, but on Skype. If you get into our course, go to allearsenglish.com/KEYS. Okay, guys, that's it for me. Happy reading.